Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spiritual Journey podcast. My name is Nimesh Radia, and I'm your host. I always love starting every episode by saying thank you. I feel so very blessed with this podcast, the people it's reaching, the impact it's having, the messages I get on a weekly basis, multiple times a week. It's clearly reaching the people that I intended it to. My intention was to really simplify spirituality and to guide people on their spiritual journey. So if you're a regular listener, thank you for supporting the podcast. And if this is your first episode, welcome. Let me know if you have any feedback to everybody, really. If there's any feedback, any podcast episode suggestions, anything you'd like us to discuss, either me on my own or with me and Stacey, or even if you have a guest suggestion, please let me know. Feedback's always a blessing. I am an Akashic record reader, Akashic trainer, podcast host, as well as podcast creator, and a spiritual coach and mentor. And what I get to do is I get to guide people on their journey, releasing the layers of anything you're holding on to truly guide you to your gifts, to your light, to truly be your authentic self. We're all going through something and really asking for help, asking for guidance, working with a mentor. It's a sign of strength. We're moving to a time where we're meant to do things together, not on our own. Yes, we are. We are still ending a period, and this is what I'll talk about in this episode, actually, interesting enough, where, sometimes it can feel isolating. But really, it is a time to trust yourself and to join a community, get a mentor, get a guide, whatever it looks like, whatever you're manifesting. And if my voice resonates, then reach out. You can book a free discovery call. I can take you through what I do. And I will include a link in the show notes. So normally what I do is every Monday, I have a joint episode with Stacey. And then on Thursdays, it's usually an episode with a guest. But every once in a while, I'll do a solo episode. Now, actually, interesting enough, the episode coming out on the first, I always do a solo episode where I channel a message for the Akashic Records. I channel a message through the Akashic Records. So that episode will be coming out on Monday, September the 1st, depending on when you listen to this. That episode is completely channeled. So I'm not really there as a human. I'm there to channel a message for the collective. But recently I've started to do more solo episodes, and my intention really is to share knowledge that's, again, channeled, but it's more from I'm more human than, I guess, when I'm doing the Akashic message. But I'll also add a supporting meditation as an attached episode. So 2 episodes. One talking about a topic, and then a meditation to go with it, which is what this is. So today's episode, I'm talking about secret awakening and the hidden shifts of the soul. And this came to me from a conversation I was having with somebody about how we're all kind of going through a shift. For some it's dramatic, and it's, really, it feels like the dark night of the soul. It feels really kind of like all layers have been shifting. For others, it's kind of like, it's still intense, but it's soft, subtle, and kind of almost invisible. And it's just, in many ways, a secret awakening can happen without us even knowing. When we look back, we'll realize how much we've shifted. But the other thing to also consider from a secret awakening is maybe we are aware that we're going through a massive shift, but we're also keeping it secret from everybody. And that's really what this episode's about. It's just the fact that we're all going through some kind of awakening. And honestly, from a human perspective, we love our labels, right? Dark night of the soul, awakening, rebirth. They're all kind of labels for a shift. And yes, some are more intense, and again, it's just your perspective on it, really. But sometimes we talk about it, and it depends where you are on your journey, but sometimes we don't. And whatever you're doing is perfect. There's no right or wrong. There's just what feels right to you. And like I said, sometimes the secret awakening is the inner shifts that are happening quietly in the background. And again, maybe you're aware of them, and maybe you're not telling other people about them, or maybe you're not even aware of them, but you can feel, you're feeling something different, but you can't put a label to it. And again, if you can't put a label to it, so how are you going to talk to others about what you're going through? But if you feel the energy of this year, as an example, but even the last couple of years, there's been so much shifting going on. There's been so many karmic cycles closing. What do I mean by karmic cycles? It's we bring karma into this world to release. And that normally involves another person. And, you have a soul contract with the person, and maybe you're here to release some karma. And that karma may, as an example, be that you enter into a loving relationship and then it ends painfully. Maybe that pain is related to karma that you bring into this life. And what I mean by karmic cycles ending is we are ending a lot of those cycles where we were meant to release karma. And I just feel like through this period, we've really have closed a lot of those cycles. And what would that look like? That would look like your friend circle getting smaller, maybe having a breakup, maybe being done with some relationships, maybe even getting your power back from your blood family, maybe cutting ties. And all of that is also a sign of an awakening, right? When you're going through all that shifts, when your past's being cleared, it means you are going through some kind of awakening, some kind of shift. And that is what the feeling I have right now, and just that we're all going through something. And I just thought it'd be just nice to have a conversation around what does that feel like. And let me know, actually, if you feel like you're going through a shift and you're in awareness that you are going through some kind of awakening, that's good to know. Or if you can feel like some kind of shift going, but you're not sure what it is, again, it's good to point that out too. And again, we don't always have to give it a label, right? But it just helps sometimes if we do, because it helps the human. But what are the other signs? A lot of the time you're feeling lethargic, you're feeling tired, it's like you're living your life, but you don't belong in that life anymore. The things that used to excite you don't excite you anymore. Your energy is different. Maybe your intuition's increased. Maybe your dreams are more vivid. Maybe you can feel like something's changing in your life and you feel like change is coming, but you don't know what it is. Maybe you're feeling a pull towards something or someone, but you're not sure what it is. Sometimes these changes are more radical, more intense. That's when you kind of know maybe you're going through a deeper awakening. But sometimes they come over a period of time and they're a bit more subtle. And which is why I call it a secret awakening, because sometimes it's even a secret to you. Your ego has a big role to play in an awakening, because your ego tries to keep you safe. Your ego doesn't want you to change. So also that sometimes the ego stops you from seeing your growth, seeing the shifts that are coming, because it doesn't want you to change. If you change, you may fall over and you get hurt. But when you're not fully aware of awakening, basically what it means is your soul's gently awakening, but it's doing by layer. And I feel like we're closing cycles quicker. So basically something comes up and we've been trained to release whatever we're holding on to much quicker than maybe we would have done previously in this lifetime, and definitely in previous lifetimes, maybe earlier in this lifetime. It just feels like the energy is different. It feels like we're all going through mass change all at the same time. But like I said, sometimes it's gentle. It doesn't feel mass because it's happening layer by layer. And maybe you might dismiss small shifts because they don't look like an awakening, what you expected from an awakening. For me, an awakening is a lifetime journey, right? Healing is a lifetime journey. It's not a one-time hit. But what happens is, on our awakening journey, we get what feels like accelerated growth, what feels like, that our whole life just turns on its head. And sometimes it happens quick, and sometimes, it happens over a period of time. But when you look back, so many elements of your life has changed. So are you going through a shift? Are you going through an accelerated phase of your awakening? If you look around your life, what's happening? Do you feel like you don't fit in anymore? Do you feel like the relationships around you are changing? Be honest with yourself. Signs of a secret awakening are feeling different without knowing why. Like I said, old patterns or relationships are no longer fitting in. Strong intuitive nudges or synchronicities showing up repeatedly. A lot of people love talking about angel numbers, right? Numbers on 111, 222. But maybe it's that. Maybe it's just songs coming on the radio that remind you of your old self. Maybe it's just you're going on a walk and you're seeing different birds. If you're listening to your intuition, you'll feel something different. Heightened sensitivity to energy, to words, to environments. Are you, for me, for example, I definitely feel different in larger crowds. I definitely put a bubble around me and protect my energy and the rest of it, but I still feel that large crowds affect me more than they used to. That's even with all the knowledge and all the protection and calling my guides in. And sure, certain people feel different. So how do certain people feel different? Maybe your work environment, maybe your home feels different. The other sign is new desires for healing, for learning, deeper connection. Are you tired of the same friend circle group and you're looking for a deeper connection with some friends? Are you tired of being single, or are you tired of being in the relationship you're in and you're looking for a deeper connection? All of these are signs of a secret awakening, a secret acceleration to your journey. So I ask you in this space, again, do you feel like you're going through a shift? Because what's the purpose of this accelerated in new awakening? The planet is going through such a massive shift from divine masculine to divine feminine, which is actually why I feel like we're all going through this shift. The masculine in us is all about ego. It's all about, kind of that being competitive. And the feminine is all about your intuition, listening to your heart. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. We all have energy, masculine and feminine energies in us. But with that shift to divine feminine, that's where I feel like we're all going through this mass change. And it does feel like it's a shift, and it does feel like it's accelerated. But at the same time, there's sometimes a feeling that you're going to miss out on something. There's something's coming, or what if you're going to miss it? But this is also a time to have faith, to trust that whatever's coming is coming in divine timing. And it's a real balance in that. We've recorded other episodes around, surrender and trusting divine timing. And you can certainly go back and listen to those episodes, but you've got to meet the universe halfway, but also not being impatient. And what does meeting the universe halfway mean? That means your self-care routine, time in nature, time in meditation, time in just being, time with people who lift you up and who don't have to change your energy, change your vibration to be around, or lower your energy and lower your vibration. You do the right things on self-care, and then trust the universe will meet you halfway. And I truly believe whatever's for you will find you. So there's no rush. Grow at your soul's pace, but be aware, because the stages of healing, the first stage is always awareness. That's really my intention with this podcast, is to increase your awareness. After awareness, the next stage is acceptance. You become aware of who you are, what you've been doing, and kind of your journey, your expansion. And then sometimes you're like, I can't believe I've been doing this for the X number of years. I can't believe I didn't, close out this soul contract earlier and all that sort of stuff. But you haven't got a time machine, so acceptance is the next thing. Well, you might have a time machine. If you do, please let me know. But I haven't. And also, how much control do you really have of what's coming? So you control and you really focus on this moment. Feel the magic in this moment. and accept who you are. Take time to fall in love with this version of you. Because maybe you don't know you. Maybe you don't know you as well as you think. Because, again, if you're feeling like an imposter in your own world, then maybe you don't know you. But I really do feel like our guides are around us so much more, which is why I included meditation. Because ultimately we are being protected. We are being guided. It feels like we're going through a sacred transformation. And your guides are not here to stop you going through painful experiences, because that's what your soul is contracted to go through, some expansion through pain. But your guides are here to hold your space, to send you the right people who can maybe help you understand it, become more aware, and then accept. But also, I believe sometimes, we have to experience pain. But sometimes we suffer. So pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. We stay in a situation where we've integrated the pain, we've learned all our lessons, but we choose to stay there for many reasons. Maybe we're worried about what's around the corner. We're scared to leave a certain situation. There's multiple reasons. But really checking in with yourself and saying, well, hold on, am I ready to go through a shift? Am I ready to release all these things we've been holding over? Am I ready to embrace this new version of me? Am I ready to let go of these relationships and no longer serve? That's a sign of you awakening and standing in your power. This process builds in a strength. And it always starts internal. Because people get frustrated, right? It's that, you're doing all this work on yourself and self-care, and sometimes the external changes take a bit more time to become visible. Sometimes it comes straight away. But that's where the faith comes into, the trust that whatever's happening next is going to come to you. And trust in divine timing. Because sometimes we wait for this big epiphany, right? I really want to connect to my guides. I really want to understand my destiny. And, when I understand it, that's when I'm going to start living. You're waiting for this big flash in the sky, this big epiphany, this big download, where all of a sudden you get this message about why you're here. But it doesn't always happen that way. In fact, many times it very rarely happens that way. It happens at a pace, which, like I said, could be a secret awakening. This is a time where you have to trust the process, even when you fully can't see it. Like I said, I feel like our guides are closer to us and they give us glimpses of what's coming. But I feel like the change is so drastic in what's going to happen on the planet, they can only give us glimpses. Journaling is a beautiful thing to do right now. Journaling and time in meditation, time in nature. But journaling is just a great way of just releasing the things we're holding on to on paper, to allowing you to understand them. Leaving voice notes, having a conscious conversation also helps. Sure, getting a mentor, and that's what a mentor does. He holds your space while you're going through a shift. A mentor should never tell you what to do, in my opinion. It should always be to guide you to you. Setting boundaries. A lot of people are going through stuff with their blood family. This is what is coming up right now, is that we are being pushed. And it's a reminder that our blood, we have expectations from our blood family. We expect them to love us unconditionally. That's how we program to. But really, you picked your blood family to expand you. And they're not always here to love you. Sometimes they are, for sure, but not always. But they're always here to expand you because they can push your buttons. And take this time to really feel the energy from your guides. Feel how supported you are. Everyone says, I can't connect with my guides, but for me, it's a muscle, right? You've got to, if you can just multiple times a day, just close your eyes and just allow yourself to feel what's around you. If you don't feel anything, make it up. Feel the energies and vibrations around you, but build that muscle. Do it multiple times a day, and you will start to feel energies and vibrations around you. But yes, also join a community. We have a monthly full moon webinar. Haven't published this month yet, but it's going to be solo this time because Stace can't make it, because it's going to be on actually the full moon itself on September the 7th. But yeah, join that community. And yeah, maybe look for a mentor, look for that help. But know that you're on this journey and you're very much protected. And people around you may not understand it. And this is where sometimes the frustration comes. It's like, I've tried talking to my friends, but they think I'm crazy or they don't really understand. This is where you should look for that community. Maybe there is people in your friend circle that will understand. They will be able to hold your space. These are typically people that you don't normally connect with or never used to. But this is the thing. This is what happens at this time is new people start to come into your world if you're open to it. So also look out for people who maybe you can build a different connection with. Maybe, and nobody's going to fully understand your story, but, well, no, I shouldn't say nobody, but it's what normally happens is you find people who can hold your space, who can empathize, who can understand parts of your story, but at least can hold your space while you share. Your awakening may have been a secret. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's time for it not to be. But even if it is a secret, it doesn't make it any less real. This is a period where you have to trust the hidden work of your soul and your guides. It's preparing you for the moment your light is ready to shine. It's preparing you and training you for whatever's coming next. I really feel that all of us are being pushed to shine our light, to speak our truth. I feel like our modalities, because I really feel like we're the light. You're the light. Anyone that's in your world, you're a gift to them. So it's like a lot of the time we worry about what is our gifts? What's our gifts? When I'm going to find it. What if your light, your energy, your vibration, you are the gift? Of course, you can learn modalities. I teach Akashic Records if that appeals, reach out. But I also really feel like our intuitive abilities are being triggered. I feel like we're being pushed to really kind of feel our senses more, kind of connect with other people and feel their energies, feel their vibration. Start to activate your modalities, the things you've been holding on to. You don't always have to share whatever comes through. The other thing you've got to be careful of is don't take on other people's energy, because sometimes we do that, right? We take on other people's energy. When we tap into their energy and feel what they're feeling, we also take on their emotions. So don't do that. But do with the people around you, just what do you feel they're going through? When you tap into their heart, what do you feel? If you've lost loved ones and you can feel them watching over you, then again, talk to them. Allow yourself to be held. Allow yourself to be guided. You're a powerful being. And it's a time for you to trust your energy, trust your vibration, trust your guides, and to trust you. The meditation I'm going to put with this episode, again, I never fully know what's going to come through, but my intention is to guide you through your awakening. Maybe build a deeper connection to your soul with your guides, to really feel what's happening inside you and around you, to increase your awareness, to help you with acceptance, and to truly help you shine your light. The other message that keeps coming up is channel right. I feel like so many people listening now have the ability to channel. And sometimes we channel verbally and sometimes we channel right. Sometimes we record a message. But again, that's another muscle you need to build, is to trust whatever's coming through. Trust your intuition. A lot of people say, I don't get messages from my guides. Well, the first thing I always ask you to do is just breathe. Trust your intuition. What's your intuition telling you? Because your intuition is normally lighter, doesn't speak loud. Your ego comes over the top and speaks loud. But when you ask a question, what does your intuition tell you? Because typically what happens is then your ego comes over the top and tells you you're making it up. But what if you're making it up? Who cares? I always recommend people get up in the morning and ask their higher self, their intuition, what can I do today to lift my soul? And as I close and get ready to record the meditation, ask you to just close your eyes and just feel and trust your heart. Be gentle, be kind to yourself. Watch the conversation you have with yourself when you're on your own. Get used to spending time with you. Get used to enjoying your company. All your answers are in you. And yes, you guys will talk to other people, maybe through this podcast as an example, maybe through an Akashic record reading, maybe through a friend, but you'll know your truth. This is a time where it really is about trusting you, trusting your intuition, trusting your heart. Let me know if this topic resonated. Let me know. I always wonder about the solo episodes and the impact they have. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover solo, if there's anything you'd like me to cover with Stace or with another guest. And if you want me to do more of these solo episodes, please let me know. And actually, even if you don't, if you want me to do less, again, let me know. You are going to get solo episodes from me, 3 episodes in a row. This one, the meditation, and the Akashic message one, the monthly one I'll release on Monday. So let me know. Give me feedback. A lot of people tell me that our voice resonates, so thank you for that. And if this podcast is helping you, guiding you, then please do like, share, comment. That really does help get the podcast to more people. And yeah, give me some feedback. Drop me an email, send me a DM. I'll always include social media links in the show notes. And sending everybody so much love and light. Be gentle, be kind. Fall in love with you. You're amazing. You're meant to be on this planet. You're loved and you're very, very, very much needed. If you can't feel it on the human realm, let your guides love you unconditionally. Hopefully you feel my love. I'm sending you the biggest hug. And again, let me know any feedback on the meditation. Take care. Bye for now, and I'll see you soon.